Hey guys, I have been cleaning my room because I am planning on upgrading my whole setup for teaching and for Twitch. In order to bring in new things, I kind of have to get rid of a bunch of old things. I am trying to comb through every inch of my room. And while cleaning, I have found some interesting things from my past. Actually, the first thing is not really from my past. It is from my past because it happened in the past. In October of last year, 2018, I went to Japan just for a personal vacation with John and a bunch of our friends. I found this. I don't think this is available in the States at all. I actually haven't even opened it yet, so we're going to open it together. Ooh, it comes with batteries. What? That's amazing. And oh my gosh, even the bubble wrap is pink. Oh wow, and there's this like protective layer. I don't recall protective layers being on top of Korg tuners, but maybe that's just in Japan. I don't know. But look how cute that is. I love it so much. Look at it. There's nothing different from this from your typical tuner. Also, you may notice everything on this is in English. There's a little bit of Japanese on here on the back, but it's only telling you what type of battery to use. It costs 4,320 yen, which translates to like roughly $40 US. Is that expensive for a Korg tuner? Yes, it absolutely is, but I couldn't pass this up. I felt like this was such a great way to remember my trip in Japan. It was hidden away somewhere in my Japan trip stash. I don't know why I never took it out to just kind of display. Well, I'm not really displaying it for anyone because really the only person who's in here is me and John sometimes. I guess I'm just displaying it for myself. It makes me smile when I see it. John has turned me into one of those people that likes to keep the original packaging too. I don't know if this is going to be worth anything in the future. Not that I intend on selling it, but it's probably worth less now that I've opened it. Next thing is this guy. This is a grand piano stress ball. This was given to me by my piano teacher down in California, Carmencita Espiris. I did an interview with her a long time ago. I don't know if it's public anymore on my channel, but if it is, it's there. You can go comb back a long ways to see that interview. She was one of my most influential inspirations in my life. She was the one who really made me consider being a teacher because she was just so understanding. Like, she actually listened to us even though I was a kid. I felt respected. It was weird because I almost felt like I didn't deserve her respect because she was just such an amazing pianist. She was always just so happy, welcoming, but at the same time, she was a hard teacher. She was the perfect balance of a teacher who could push you, but also truly empathized with you. She listened to us, but she wasn't a pushover. She didn't take shoddy work. She gave us this, I don't exactly remember when. I think it was a fun gift to give everyone after a recital. We had those annual spring recital type things where all the students in her studio will perform for each other and each other's families. I recall her squeezing it and showing us and saying, when you are very frustrated with your practice session, you can take this and squeeze it and throw it across the room. Her saying that got stuck in my head because I think that was the moment that I realized that she also gets frustrated in practice sessions. To me, she was just this like piano goddess that like played the piano faultlessly and flawlessly. The idea that even she would get irritated with herself during practice sessions was like amazing to me. It really made me realize that being a professional did not mean that you will have perfect practice sessions forevermore. It doesn't mean that you play perfectly for the rest of your life. Being a musician is a journey that never ends. And when you become a professional, you're still learning. I don't know what it was about her saying that to us. It just stuck in my head so hard, and like I think of that every single time I see this. I don't know why I put this in a random drawer and like forgot about it completely, and when I saw it I was just like, oh my gosh. This represents pretty much everything that I currently think of what being a professional means. Mrs. Aspiris, if you're watching this, thank you. I still have this. I'm displaying it now for myself to remind myself that it's totally okay to be a professional and not be perfect. All right, do you guys remember me mentioning in an older video that I used to get stickers in my flute lessons, like when I was a little kid, when I was like 8, 9 years old? Well, guys, I found it. I honestly had forgotten completely where I had put it, but because I'm combing through my room, I'm finding it now. Keroppi sticker album. I've been a Sanrio fan for a really long time. Let's see what's in here. Lots of Keroppi, Pachaco, Hello Kitty, obviously. I have Lion King in here. This represents all of my hard work, all of my hard practice sessions. I lived for this, man. Ooh, I love these. These are the ones that are kind of velvety. Do you guys remember Spotty Dotty? I feel like you don't see Spotty Dotty as much these days. There's a Mulan one. Oh my gosh, I was such a huge Mulan fan. Mulan was the first character on the big screen that I felt like I related to. She was the first Disney character to actually look like me, and I just thought that was the most amazing thing. Oh, I have Pokemon in here. What? I wasn't even into Pokemon. Let's see, what do I have in here? I have Vulpix, Ponyta, Flareon, Ninetales, Charmander, Charizard, Arcanine, Charmeleon, Magmar, Rapidash, and Moltres. I have a legendary on here. What? I didn't even know. That must have been an awesome practice session. Obviously, we didn't finish this because I think by the time we got to here, that was when I stopped having lessons with her. This is my childhood. Man, I feel like I should display this. But at the same time, I don't want it to fade. So I think I will just keep it on my bookshelf, but just not fully displayed. Don't you guys love how much Hello Kitty is in here? I clearly have not gotten over my obsession with Hello Kitty. I have these fantastic memories with that teacher. She was a teenager and she was just kind of teaching, I think, for fun. We did things that probably we shouldn't have done, so she would offer me orange juice to have during a flute lesson. I remember learning vibrato from her. She didn't actually really know how to teach vibrato, and I don't blame her because even I find vibrato to be one of the hardest things to teach. She pretty much just kept saying, hey, just listen to me, I guess, and she would play for me and then I would try to imitate her. So she was kind of the reason why I think I got pretty good at imitation. She would often play the music that I was supposed to study that week. Her playing it wasn't for me to learn the pitches because I'm a very sight-based person, so I would just kind of like read it. But what I was imitating was her tone color and her tone quality. I just really loved her sound. I just remember her sound being beautiful and I wanted to grow up to be just like her. I think that was where my inclination to imitate tone color and tone qualities came from. She was the first person that I actively imitated. That's kind of the root of how I became sort of a specialist in chamber music, being second flutist, third flutist. I love to blend. I love to match other people's tone color. I love to match other people's tone qualities. I love to match other timbres. Now that I think back, I think it was from her. If you're watching, I don't know if you know that I am making these videos now, but you know who you are, and if you're watching, I still have this. And thank you so much for being such an inspiration. With the same teacher, I found this. This is the piece that I remember playing, and do you see how it's all marked up with highlighters? This same teacher went with me to my first audition, and it was like a newly organized local youth symphony. I was, I believe, 9 years old at the time. She got me to play this, which I learned many years later is actually a legit orchestral excerpt. This was my first foray into very expressive music. As you can see from how she marked it up, I really had to be handheld through this and kind of spoon-fed what I should be doing because I was only 9. There's only so much that you can express when you're 9. You can see how much hard work she put into this to like walk me through this. I think I've talked about this before, but I think she was more nervous about it than I was because I clearly remember sitting there with my flute waiting outside the room that I was supposed to do the audition in. She was kneeling in front of me. I think she was holding my hands or something like that. I just remember there was a nervous energy coming out of her, but I didn't know what an audition was. I didn't know what to expect, so I wasn't nervous. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, so I was just kind of like sitting there like, "Loyalty Todd." She went with me to the audition. I can't believe that because I don't think she was auditioning for it, for like the upper level orchestras. I went into the audition, and when I was playing, the conductor was the person listening to us play. He got up and he started to kind of conduct me. And I'd never been conducted prior to that point. So I didn't know what he was doing. He's doing what I'm doing now. Which back then I thought was really weird, but he was like conducting me while I was playing, and then he was trying to gesture for me to get louder in some parts or like rubato some parts. I remember it being the weirdest experience I had had in my life up until that point. Imagine having never had anyone conduct you, and then you're just kind of going in there and playing your own thing, and then someone's just pretty much dancing around you randomly, and that's supposed to be an audition. For a 9-year-old, it was like, what the heck is going on? That memory has been imprinted in my mind. Whenever I see this and whenever I teach this, that's the only thing I think about. I think about that audition, and I think about that audition with a lot of fondness. I felt very loved. I think that's what it was. I felt so safe. I felt really taken care of and looked after. Oh my gosh. Last thing I wanted to show you guys was something that I might actually make another video about, but I just kind of wanted to show it to you guys first. When I took the RCM exams, I got a bunch of old exams, and what you do is you take the old exam and you use them as your practice for the real exam. I thought that I was very studious and that I had done all these exams. Can you see how new these look? You may also notice the year is 2008. Do you see how empty that is? This is a completely untouched exam. Now this one, I believe I did one of them. This was a 2009 edition. Yeah. I think I just was so done with studying. I was probably thinking to myself, I did one and I had it checked by my private teacher and she said I passed. So I was like, well, if I passed one, I probably will pass the one that I'm going to take. And then I guess I just completely gave up on taking these. I suspect that I have more things down there that I have not completed. I was thinking it would be hilarious if I made a video of me attempting to take it again. Would you guys be interested in that? I also noticed that my handwriting is exceptionally messy. I clearly did not care. I think I was studying too much. If I recall correctly, I was doing this in the middle of doing my bachelor's. I wasn't just doing this, I was also doing counterpoint. I believe I did harmony 4, counterpoint, and analysis in the same 2 or 3 days of exams. It was insane, but I think I did it because they are prerequisites in order to obtain the diploma. There you go, guys. I hope that was enjoyable for you. And if you want me to attempt these exams in front of you guys, let me know. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Whoa! Nearly threw it at you guys.